Hey, it's Big Soprano. Sorry about the last video. It was kind of very, uninteresting. Honestly, if I watched it, I'd probably fall asleep to it, honestly. It was really boring, in my opinion, so sorry about that. And the game footage was a little too loud, so sorry about that. But today I'm going to be talking about my experience with OCD. I have autism, so my intrusive thoughts, obsessions, and compulsions may not be OCD. But after the psych ward said I showed symptoms, I took it as a diagnosis, even though it isn't. I did not self-diagnose. It's either I have OCD or my autism is on the brink of being completely dysfunctional. Like, I'm not sure if I have OCD or just really, really bad autism that only got worse after I got obsessed with a certain video game. So, it's either or, but for this video, I'm probably going to switch between saying I have OCD or I have really bad autism because I don't know personally. I don't know how to get a diagnosis, but I will talk to my doctor about it because I don't know if I have OCD or not. So, yeah. Why am I talking about OCD? Well, there's a stigma to the existence of OCD. People think OCD is organizing or cleaning a room a bunch and very attentive to detail and very perfectionist. Like, I hate those, stereotypes. Even though, some people with OCD may be like that, I'm not, personally, even though I don't know how I have OCD or not. And I don't think most people are like that at all, honestly. I don't think it's true, at least not in everyone's experience. But I'm talking about OCD because I want to bring more awareness to the darker side of OCD that isn't socially accepted yet. And I hope you learn from this video. So we're going to turn back time to 2019. I first experienced unwanted thoughts, mental images, and urges that make me feel disgusted and uncomfortable about myself, and paranoia relating to what others might think of me, which nowadays for me is psychosis rather than only paranoia. So psychosis is like paranoia to the extreme. So I have psychosis, wondering what others think about me and if the thoughts are true or not, in which they aren't. Feeling disgusted from intrusive thoughts doesn't mean you should be ashamed of yourself. Everyone gets intrusive thoughts. It just depends on the person how severe they are. No matter how severe, it will never reflect on you. They're often random for regular people, like you looked down from a bow and thought about throwing your son off of it, right? That's an intrusive thought. And you get so ashamed that you even thought of that even though you will never do it, you just fear that one day you will. And this is all natural. This is like a big part of what intrusive thoughts are. It's not just the intrusive thoughts, it's the reaction to it, you know? You just need to accept the intrusive thoughts and move on. It's natural to think you will eventually act on these thoughts or urges, but you probably won't. And my OCD or autism is very, very bad. I get the urges, I get I get the intrusive thoughts. I have compulsions. Hell, I feel like everything I do is a compulsion. Like, one of my obsessions is probably, looking normal or whatever. So I'm trying my best to fit in. My compulsions are just me trying to fit in and act natural. Like, oh, maybe I'll rub my nose when I walk by this person just so I look normal or whatever. It's like little things like that. And it may sound stupid, but that's what OCD, like a big part of OCD is. One of my many obsessions, and by obsession I mean a recurring stress-inducing thought, and one that won't get me demonetized, is fear of contamination from only the family I live with. I washed my hands twice after using the family bathroom, and I did that a couple times today. It's one of my compulsions. I don't want to feel disgusting, you know, I touched where my family touched and all that. I feel disgusted and I don't want to feel that. So one of my compulsions is to wash my hands twice after using the family bathroom. And that may seem normal, but I think that may be like my OCD or my really bad autism. So in 2021, my OCD is the worst it's ever been at the time, but trust me, only got much worse now. But with my intrusive thoughts at an all-time high, I began to break down, screaming and crying, and it scared the shit out of my mom. Like, she was probably traumatized, and probably that breakdown was a compulsion. Like, a compulsion is like what you do to get rid of those thoughts. So what I did to try and get rid of those thoughts was break down, scream and cry. So I got sent to the psych ward, and only on the last few days I told them what's really going on in my head. And I leave with new meds, noting and they noted I show symptoms of OCD, and I took that as a diagnosis ever since. So in 2022, from experiencing the worst of my OCD, I began to have a moment of peace that lasted only a year. This was my most mentally healthy year. No intrusive thoughts, no shame, no discomfort, just a clear mind. It was the most peace I've been in since like I got intrusive thoughts in 2019. So in 2023 to 2024, my life fell apart completely. My intrusive thoughts did not come back until fall of 2023, and currently they are the worst they ever been for 11 months straight. No, I am not joking. I can't stand it anymore. I've been telling my therapist everything since early this year, and nothing has helped. I've been prescribed new doses of meds that will hopefully work, but I haven't picked them up yet because so far meds have never worked for my intrusive thoughts and discomfort. Neither is talking it out. I currently have another therapist joining in me on my sessions that specializes in intrusive thoughts, and I just had a session and it was great. They told me every bit of information I need to know, and while my new awareness is relieving for my mind, I still can't get rid of a single intrusive thought. I hope you all enjoyed my very long talk on OCD, because it makes me feel better to talk about it a little bit. Intrusive thoughts can't be controlled, but they can be accepted. Just know that. And if you suffer from OCD or really bad autism like I do, then drop a comment below detailing your experience. It would be nice to know that I'm not the only one, because one of the main parts of OCD is that or intrusive thoughts, is that you think you're the only one, but this is actually very common in people.